Hello, today I'm going to be making a video about identitarianism. Identitarianism comes in many forms. It tends to rely on an in-group, out-group mentality, and depending on what category the identitarianism is, for example racial identitarianism for any group of people, none in particular, but I'll use the example of the alt-right. From what I've seen, they would like to protect the white race above all else. What they don't take into account is individuals within the white race who disagree with them. So, for example, Richard Spencer, in his debate with Sargon of Akkad, kept talking about the kind of surrounding culture around the white race, but never really defined it. So everyone was kind of left hanging on what he was actually talking about. They kind of had a vague idea, but he never actually defined his terms very well. And anyone who falls outside of that will be viewed as a heretic in the eyes of the identitarian. And that's an example of right-wing identitarianism. And on the left, it tends to be they are playing identity politics for the oppressed group of people, or in their minds, the oppressed group of people. So, for example, the progressives, the neo-progressives, I should say, tend towards talking about racial minorities. So, in the case of the West, black people and Asian people or Arab people or whoever, and they tend to talk about group rights a lot. So they're not actually talking about the individual rights of the people who make up the group, they're talking about the rights of the group. And in my opinion, this is a way to lead to, in an extreme case, a race war, and in a kind of softer case, just tensions between groups. Because if you deal with people on, for example, if I deal with you on the basis of your race, then you had no control over that. So what am I actually judging about you? I can't tell anything about you on the basis of your skin colour. So what do I actually learn about you from just based on your skin colour alone? It makes a lot more sense to me to deal with people on the individual characteristics that they have gotten by living their life and the experiences they've had, rather than something they had absolutely no control over at all. And an example of feminism, they are gender identitarians. It doesn't seem to me that in its present form feminism is actually a movement for gender equality. It's a female advocacy movement, which there's a very important difference between those two things. A female advocacy movement would tend towards only talking about women's issues. If it genuinely was a gender equality movement, they would have no problem talking about issues that face men. And it's the same with the neo-progressive activists who, like the Black Lives Matter movement. If they were genuinely a racial equality movement and not a black advocacy movement, they would talk about the issues that affect white people as well. And I don't have a problem if you want to be a racial advocacy movement. That's totally up to you, that's fine. No problem with that, as long as there's some sort of balance on the other side where the men's issues aren't just left to the dust and they fester and get worse, and the same with the issues affecting white people. That's all I have to say, really. Thank you for watching.